What's up, everybody? Michael here from High Def Digest, coming to you today with a quick revision video about the Movies Anywhere service. Just wanted to explain to everybody what the Movies Anywhere service is and correct a misunderstanding about how Apple TV and their free 4K upgrades go into it. Now, I've made a separate video about the Apple TV policy, which you can definitely check out, the pop-up box or link below. For sure, but I'll also talk about it just a little bit in this video, but check that one out for the full in-depth understanding about that particular policy. Now, Movies Anywhere, what is it? Now, Movies Anywhere is a digital locker, digital library service that will combine all of your movies from the participating studios and make them available on a Movies Anywhere app on your iOS or Android devices or on 4 of the most prominent streaming services. Now, how did it begin? It started out as Disney Movies Anywhere, which is actually going away, and it's going to be folded into the brand new Movies Anywhere. And so what happened is that Disney started with their Movies Anywhere service. They've now teamed up with Universal, Fox, Sony, and Warner Brothers to make all of the titles from that studio available on streaming services like Vudu, Amazon, Google Play, and of course in iTunes, which is what I've got available here on this Apple TV 4K. What you do is you go to moviesanywhere.com, you sign up with your email address, preferably if you have a disneymoviesanywhere.com account already, definitely use that same email address, sign up for an account, and then you link up the services that you're a member of. So you link up your iTunes account, you link up your Vudu, your Amazon, your Google Play, whatever you have. You don't have to do all of them, but if you do 2 or more, you get 5 free movies, which you may or may not already own. Once you've got all of your movies from those studios, and you've got all of the services synced up, you can now watch all of the movies on any of the apps that you want. Here's the Movies Anywhere app itself. Like I said, it's available on iOS and Android devices. It's available on the Apple TV 4K and the Roku interface streaming systems, and it's just a collection of everything you got. Now, here on the Apple TV, it's limited to HD, so I wouldn't be watching that. They've got 4K capabilities on the actual iTunes and Vudu services, so I would suggest going to those. But if you've just got an HD collection of movies and you want to watch them on your phone, you want to do whatever, it's a way to sync everything up. So if you've got a few titles from iTunes that you purchased over there, if you've did digital copies, so you've done Ultraviolet, which is synced up to Vudu and a few of the other services, it just takes everything that's been in 3 or 4 different areas and puts them all together. And now that the Apple TV has Vudu support and it's going to be having Amazon soon, you basically just need one device to stream all of your movies, and it basically organizes everything in about an easy a way as the digital ownership can be. But now the one issue that we were talking about is the 4K. So Movies Anywhere is working great, I think, for people with HD titles. Of course, Paramount and Lionsgate have not joined up, so if you have those movies, they aren't going to sync up. And a few of our readers, I've talked to them on the Facebook page, I've talked to them here on YouTube, have had movies that are not syncing up or syncing up slowly. In my case, the worst I had was I bought a movie, War of the Planet of the Apes, and it took about 32 hours to show up in my iTunes account. No, it's mostly working out pretty well. Things are available on all your different streaming services. Now, the one issue, like I said, where things get a little complicated is in the 4K realm. Now, in the 4K realm, Apple is giving free 4K upgrades to movies that are purchased in the iTunes ecosystem or movies that were redeemed via digital codes in iTunes. They're also recognizing if you had 4K titles from a different service, they'll recognize that as well, but you're not getting or not supposed to be getting a free upgrade to 4K from the HD movies that you either purchased or redeemed outside of iTunes. And the other complications are, for example, I redeemed a 4K code for Close Encounters of the Third Kind, popped into iTunes, immediately available in 4K, but over in Vudu, I got access to the SD version, which is a little strange, even though it came from a 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. So I think there's going to be some headaches if you're a 4K person. Not all of the movies are going to be available in 4K on every streaming platform, and not every streaming platform is going to recognize that you have access to the 4K version. And like I said, if you had HD versions of things that are not from iTunes, those shouldn't be getting that upgrade, although some people have experienced the free upgrade anyway. Why that's happening, I don't know, but per Apple, their policy is no free upgrades for non-iTunes purchases and redemptions. So far, I mean, I've been enjoying the Movies Anywhere. It helped me personally. For me, I had about 3/4 of my movies available in Vudu because they have 4K with Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos surround sound, and about a quarter of my movies were on iTunes, and I always had to go to a different device to watch one, and this just made it so much easier compared to the days where Ultraviolet used to have a few more hiccups, in my opinion. It's working better now, but 4K kind of changed everything, and it's pretty much the same with Movies Anywhere. It's just that you're not always going to have access to the 4K version you want on the specific app you want, because either via the studios or the streaming services themselves aren't recognizing whether or not you have 4K. So those are just kind of minor hiccups, I would say, to the overall goal of the service, which is to organize your entire library, and it's working best for folks with HD material. But I suspect, over the next few years, as you buy and redeem more 4K stuff, it'll kind of even itself out as you buy more 4K content or redeem more 4K codes. I hope the studios, for example, Fox right now, as I'm making this video, their codes still redeem for HD, or at least they did before the Apple TV. I haven't redeemed the code. No, that's not true. I redeemed the War of the Planet of the Apes, and that only redeemed for HD. So that's the Movies Anywhere service. I hope that clarified for you how it works overall and how it works with 4K and the new Apple TV policy. And thank you so much for watching this video. Sorry we had to make a revision of it, but it was just a little confusing as to when you were getting 4K and when you weren't, because of how Apple displayed things in their system, basically. In their iTunes library, it would tell you, for example, that you have HDR when you don't actually have that capability, which is, like I said in the other video, a little bit frustrating, but that's the way it's working. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have yourself a fantastic day. Cheers.